She was on that reposado. I'm spinning like I hit the lotto. Cause it's a lot of bad in the building. The double real in the building. Hey man, I'm finna kill in the building. Hey man, I tell her wait to 50 bottles.
We're gonna start 10 minutes after, okay? 10 minutes. So it's gonna be 5 10. So, just a heads up, right? I played this song because of that one line that he says in the line when he says, I am the type of dude that say a prayer, then go get what I just prayed for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I want everybody on this call to be like, you know, say your prayers. You know what you want, right?
6-1.
It's those things that you speak into existence, right? You want,
Yeah, like make them deep so people can swim around them.
you want to be a good trader. You want to be, you know.
Here, I'm gonna be with you right now. I'll listen to this later because I think he's recording it, so I think I'll be cool.
You want to be a provider for your family. That's what you want. So that line in that song stood out to me. So that's why I played that. Like, I want you guys to be the type of people that pray about something, then immediately go get what you just prayed for. All right? So take that as the first note, all right? So I'm going to wait for 3 more minutes, right? 3 more minutes to just let everybody get on. I am going to record the session, and I'll drop it in one of the channels. I'll let you know what channel I drop it in, so that if you guys want to go back and watch it again. But just remember that I want everybody on this call to be the type of people that pray for something, then immediately go get what they just prayed for. Okay? Immediately. Amen, right? Amen. Like, immediately go get what you just prayed for. If you prayed for a Maserati, like, I need plans for that. I need you to figure out plans for how you about to go get it. If you think you want to have a $10,000 account, a $20,000 account, I need you to put the plans together right now to go and get it, right? Anita dropping 100s, right? Whatever Anita is about to pray for, I need you to put together a plan, right? Don't just pray about it. You pray about it, and then you put the plan to get it, and then you put the plan in action, right? You speak it into existence, right? Because when you speak things into existence, you have to map that out in order to get it, right? So I want everybody on this call to figure out, to pray what they want. Once you pray for what you want, right? Figure out the plan to get it. And then once you figure out the plan to get it, map out the plan and execute. Nothing, no hesitation at all. Figure out how you're gonna get it. Figure out what the plan is, number one. Figure out how you put the plan in action. Activate the plan and go get it. Those are 4 things we want to take out of this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plan, figure out the goal, plan, execute, take action. That's it. That's it. The 4 keys to this, right? Is Priscilla on? Is Priscilla on this call? She is not on this call. She's not on this call, but my wife wanted me to shout her out because she ordered some products from her. Some lashes. I think I just dropped it. Priscilla does lashes too. Shout out to Priscilla. She's not on. It's a magnetic lash kit. I feel like I'm doing a QVC promo right now. She got magnetic lashes, got the little joint right here. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming this is like a eyebrow placement. Lucy, help me out if you know what this is. Lucy, turn on your mic, man.
I'm here.
Help me out. What does this do?
The little utensil is to help you put the actual lash on your lash line.
Shout it out. Okay, this thing right here.
Yeah.
Whatever this does. I don't know what this does.
And then the little tube thing, that's the liquid magnetic liner because it's magnetic lashes. So that's an eyeliner that is magnetic.
All right.
And you put that on your eyelid, and then you put in the magnetic lash right on top with the other little utensil, and you're good to go. So if you guys want to check out the link, it's in Priscilla's IG, and I'll drop it in a few seconds.
Yeah, my wife made me do this, and because she just ordered it from Priscilla. These are the lashes or whatever it is, little mirror thing. I don't know. I don't need lashes. The box come with a mirror. Cool. All right, cool. And then it comes with a card too.
Let me find out.
Let me find out, right? Okay. Anyway, so
Wait, lift it up one more time, Corey, to the screen.
One more time. All right.
Yeah, one more time.
Card and lash.
Oh my God!
Hey! What up, Steph?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, what up, Steph?
Do you love them, Corey? Do you love them?
Sure do, because it make my wife look cool.
Oh my God, I know Crystal loves them. I know she does.
It make my wife look cool, so cool. I like it.
Awesome. I'm so I'll let Chris know.
Yes, I'm dropping her IG here on the handle too.
Yeah, I don't know what all this stuff do, so Lucy did help me with the promo.
You got it, bro. You got it.
Thank you, Lucy. So they're magnetic lashes. You put them on with the eyeliner, and they literally magnetically click to your upper eyelid.
And I just saw her IG, and she was on the beach, right? And she was doing like this, and they didn't fall off.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They're waterproof too.
She did like this, and they didn't fall off. So I guess it's good, right? So,
Aww.
all right. So I am going to record this, and I'll drop it. First thing first, easy peasy. Let me show you guys something. First thing, from now on, moving forward, right? Every Zoom, I did, Amara, I did do a whole commercial. I did. Moving forward, we are going to be using first name, last name, right? And for you guys that are new to our processes, right? For the Zoom, right? Let me share my screen.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson?
If you get on any of our Zooms, right? How can I share this? Because this is first things first, okay? So if you get on any of our Zooms, if you in our Discord, we want you guys to update your nicknames in the Discord. So for all you guys that have done this already, right? If you don't know how to do it, just right click, just come to this drop down inside of the Forex Chick Mentorship. Change nickname. Most of you guys have done this, but I just want you to get in the habit of letting the people that you know and that you also bring into the organization know that this is something that they have to do, right? So we'll change our nickname to first and last plus the I Am Academy ID, okay? So that's first. You come to this drop down under the Forex Mentorship, change nickname, and update it from here. So it's first and last and I Am Academy ID. And there's no excuse. The only person that gets to get a pass on this is the Forex chick mom and the Forex chick. So even myself, I had Corey Forex, which is something that I like. I would love to keep, but I don't have it. So I updated to first and last plus my I Am Academy ID. The next thing, when you get on our Zoom calls, we want to know who is actually attending our calls, right? Because we're trying to keep track of this because we want to know who's getting value out of our calls, right? So we want you guys to add in your first and last on the participants list, right? And again, it's not to be proved, right? But it's more so to know who we need to engage with in order to help those guys out even more, right? So if you're somebody that attends the meetings, attends all the sessions on a regular basis, we want to know if you're struggling. You know, we want to know if you're having problems, right? And with that being said, in order for us to keep track of that, we got to see your first and last on there so we know who is attending the call. Because the guys that are attending the calls, we're seeing growth from them, right? But the guys that show up every now and then are the guys that we're having to kind of give a nudge to, right? So we want to kind of use this as a way for us to have some tracking measures, right? So I'm gonna do a little recording, right? And let me go ahead and record this so you can see it. So if we want to do this, we're going to update our names, right? Edit profile. There's a little ellipses with 3 icons that you'll change, and you'll go to rename, right? The rename option will give you an option to rename yourself on Zoom. And let me pass that on to you guys, right? Let me pass it on. I just did a screen recording, and I'm gonna replay it for you guys, right? So the screen recording, is here, right? So inside of your Zoom, right? And this is playing from my computer, right? I'm gonna expand it. So you guys, let me know if you guys can see this, okay? So inside of your Zoom, you're gonna click on these ellipses, right? Go to edit and rename. You're gonna go to rename and enter in your first and last name for each Zoom that you get on. And again, this is, I know you guys might use this Zoom for other purposes or whatnot, but for these purposes, we want to know who's getting on the call. So this is our way to try to keep track of who's joining the calls, who's jumping on the calls, who's actually getting value from the calls, right? So that is a quick video of how to do so, right? We got some people messages in the chat. Hang on. Go ahead, Corey. You just see Priscilla, Corey. If you and your wife are doing promos, I'm gonna send some. Okay, cool, Chantel. Corey, I did do a whole commercial. I did, and I wish she was on to see it. Can you mute yourself? Can't hear. I'm gonna mute everybody right now. If you need to ask questions, go ahead and unmute. So we knocked out the Zoom part, right? The main thing about Zoom is want to make sure that you know how to update your names, right? Because everything else is pretty much self-sufficient. You'll log into the Zoom. You can see the participant list. You can see the people that are in the chat, and everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. The primary key is we want to make sure we update the name so that we know who's consistently attending, so that we know who we need to focus our efforts towards, right? The next thing, I'm going to go into a couple things with.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that the same as? Do you do the same process on your phone that you do on the computer?
Exactly. Same process. Same exact process.
And you're saying we have to so when we actually get on the Zoom, our name's not gonna originally pop up?
If you don't
No,
sign in, you gotta sign in and create an account, and then it automatically has your picture and name
that's
every
correct.
time.
That is correct.
Or you can just go to the settings part too of if you're in your phone, and you have the option to update your name there as well.
Yep.
If you go to settings.
Yep.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind, all right? The next thing I'm going to talk about is how to use TradingView, right? And, you know, some people have kind of, through osmosis, you know, kind of figured out TradingView, but I'm just going to show you some tricks that I use in particular when I'm in TradingView to kind of help me out. So let me share that screen right here. And then I'll go into MetaTrader 4. So first thing, for you guys that that have the free accounts, I would actually recommend that you at least get the Pro or Pro Plus. It's like $14 a month. I know I don't know your financial situations, but if you could invest in it, this is something that if you take advantage of it, it'll help you out in the long run. But if you can't, definitely just use the free version. The paid version allows you to do alerts, and it doesn't have the same limitations as the free version. But so inside of my TradingView, let me start from scratch, right? Let's start from the beginning. So let me know if you can see my screen. Not sure which screen that I'm sharing. Just want to make sure you guys can see it. Okay, so all right. So upon opening my TradingView account, right? I have a Pro Plus account, by the way. And like I said, I suggest you guys take an investment into the Pro or Pro Plus. You'll notice that this is my login name, which is the same as my IG. Some things to take note of. Yeah, I did say there is a discount. Because I'm recording this, I don't want to say how you actually get the discount because it's some shady stuff. But if you message me, I'll tell you how I got the discount. How about that? Okay, Beth? That's cool. Yeah, it's some, it's not shady, but it's just something I wouldn't want to put on recording because of, I don't want nobody to be able to say that I said this on recording. But if you message me, I'll tell you how I got it. But anyway, so the first things to consider on this screen is the ideas section, right? The ideas section is something that other traders inside of the TradingView world update their ideas. Like there's different people that are in this community that update trading ideas on different pairs that they trade. And you as a TradingView member can also do the same thing, right? The markets, I don't really use the markets, but it shows you different areas. The scripts, if you're a coder like I am, I actually build scripts to look for certain patterns and certain things within the trading charts. Screeners, you can set up screeners to look for certain types of setups. I don't really use this section too much. streams. If you're a streamer that wants to post your ideas, trading ideas, brokers, different brokers, settings, and then you get to charts and then more. Your charts is the section that I want to focus on. You'll get more of these as you update your TradingView account, right? So I have, as a Pro Plus, I have about 10 different charts that I can set and save under pre-existing settings, right? And I have different layouts that I can offer for each of those different pairs that I choose to trade from, right? And you can see right now I have named from the view about 10 different ones here. Let me go back. Okay, let's refresh it. So on all my layouts, these are my favorites. I always trade the indices, so US 30, gold, S&P 500, NAS, and GDP pairs, right? But I have some other ones. This is one that I'm back testing on this particular layout. My oil setups, FX pairs, Bitcoin. So these are my like default pairs that I look at, right? And any changes that I make on this are saved on it. So I don't have to worry about going back and looking at those pairs and updating those pairs on different charts because I have those saved, right? That's kind of where you want to keep that. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what these guys are saying in the Discord. Trading discount. Okay, I'll reach back to this person. Okay, reach back to that person. Okay, then the next section are our right column icons, right? This is where you get your watch list. You can save the pairs that you want to look for automatically. I have my indices, oil and gold, which are the main pairs I trade. Then we have our hot list. This goes over the indices and the stocks that are in those indices. You can't hear? You can't hear, Steph? Can you hear me? Can everybody else hear me?
I'm in again. I logged out and in. I just wasn't sure if you locked the meeting, but you didn't. So
Okay.
Yeah, sound is good.
Okay, cool. All right. This icon is for calendar. This shows you the events that are pre-existing that may affect our pairs. Any ideas that individuals have. So these are my ideas. And if we look back at my ideas, these are some that I posted. Whereas I gave my analysis based on the charts themselves. And then below I wrote up, my thoughts on this and you can share it. I suggest you use this. It's something cool that you have the ability to do, especially when you want to kind of back test. Like I can see based off of my idea how the market actually reacted, right? Maybe this is too far back. Yeah, this is too far back. So I won't be able to show this, but I can look at some of my other ideas, right? Even here, right? I can go back and see like where did my trade idea play out, right? Though you can't see it because this was so long ago when I posted this, this is something that you want to use. So in this case, you can see that in May 2019, I was looking for, looking for thoughts that looking for those thoughts that buy. This is on a low. Well, something, basically everything that I predicted played out, right? And then this icon right here is for chats, right? There's a community of traders that I kind of chat with on MT4. Some people like Tatiana, she's in IM Academy. Nika, she's also in IM Academy. We kind of share ideas. It's been a while, but we kind of share ideas, and I would post her and tag her into stuff on TradingView. And then you got your idea stream. These are other traders that are in the TradingView community that you know, based off of their rankings, are traders that I follow, you know, because they tend to post good setups, right? So I'll follow those guys and kind of just look at their analysis and compare them to mine. Yeah, Shanika is family. Yeah, she's the homie. She is the homie. And then notifications, right? So that's just on the home screen. So once we're inside of our charts, right? And we get a couple of additional screens. We get an order panel and we get the DOM panel, right? The DOM panel is more so basically dealing with the elements of the screen itself. This is dealing with how we put in orders. You probably won't ever use this, right? So we'll ignore this. But the order panel, if you choose to set one of the brokers, set your accounts up with one of the brokers that offer trading on the TradingView platform, which you can see here. Let's minimize this. These are the brokers that offer trading from their platform. I actually have one of these brokers, Awanda. Awanda is a pretty good broker, but the leverage that they offer is is really low. So I would only suggest trading FX pairs with Awanda because the broker only offers 50-to-1 leverage, right? Whereas brokers that I would recommend, like FX Choice, offers 200-to-1. Trading with Hugo's Way and COT Forex, they offer 500-to-1. So a lot of times you won't be able to get into certain trade based off of the 50-to-1 versus the 200-to-1 versus the 500-to-1. Okay. Lester's asking, how do you open a new chart without losing the settings? So that goes into us choosing to opt into the paid version versus the free version, right? So if you open a chart and you keep this screen open, right? And you only use this particular screen, right? So if I chose this US 30 chart that I'm on, right? Hang on. So this chart is saved as my US 30 chart, right? And I leave this chart open on all my windows, right? And I don't change this chart. Any pair that I open in this window, let's say that I open NAS 100 in this window, and we'll go to NAS 100 under Awanda, right? And I make changes to this pair inside of this particular window. And I repeat that because that's how it applies, right? This particular window. Let's say I just clarified this is a zone, right? And we'll save this, right? We'll save this, right? If I go back into the US 30 chart, all my settings are the same in my US 30 chart, right? And I open NAS 100 again, Awanda, I'll have the changes that I made right here. And it's simply because of the fact that I'm opening this in the same chart, same window that I opened this from previously, right? So if I open a US 30 chart and I save this right here, which I'm gonna go through those, all right? So we've gone through all the items from the right column, right? The only thing we got left is this object tree, which basically displays all of the objects I have in use. And then this help icon. Those are the only thing left. This help icon is something that you would use if you needed to do troubleshooting for your account. And then, okay, so we'll close this out and let's start from here, right? We got our publish icon. Our publish icon allows for you to publish those ideas, right? So let's say I wanted to make a public idea of how I felt about what typically could happen at this resistance area, right? And I want to name this, and NAS 100 near resistance, right? My thoughts on this: if it breaks whatever this level is, if it breaks 98, this is actually a trading setup. So if you want to copy this, 98.12, let's say 98.15 will buy the break of structure. If it rejects, we will sell the rejection of the high. Okay. Related ideas, we can put whatever we have right here. The type, we can add in our types, whatever it is, long categories. What kind of category does this fall under? Let's see, technical indicators. We don't use any of those. Let's say volume. I always consider the volume. Beyond technicals. This is just how we can classify this. You don't have to do this, but this just gives you some means to look and consider what your idea is going to be. Right now, I only consider that. So, and then you can also kind of hashtag it, break and retest, right? And these act as little hashtags. So for your future analysis, if you want to ever look back at this and you do a search on any break and retest ideas that you had, because you tag this, this gives you the option to look at this, right? And in my notes, maybe I want to put in, a take profit of whatever. Let's do a take profit of whatever this is. Let's look at this. 20. This is actually a setup. So if you want to look at this and keep this, so if it breaks above here and closes above, you can look at 99.40, 99.40, all right? So let's buy from target 1 to 99.40. All right, and I'm just going to do that as a target. So this is my trading idea. I'll publish it, right? And it'll be available for use, right? So as this goes on, I can always look back and see how did my trading idea take place, right? So that being said, that's under my US 30 chart, right? But this is my US 30 chart, right? I don't want NAS to show. I want US 30 to show. And let's forgive me for all of my jargon right here, but I understand everything that's going on because this is my chart. So apologies ahead of time, right? And we let's see, Chantel says we have to upgrade to a pro or paid account to save the chart. You do. You'll need to do that, Chantel, in order to save them. You can only save one chart with the free account. Anything else you'll need to upgrade to the Pro or Pro Plus. I have the Pro Plus, which is just short of the premium account. The next thing is the snapshot icon. The snapshot, this is what you want to use when you're sending trades to myself or Kim or anybody else on the leadership squad. You can hit the snapshot icon, copy the link, and drop it to us to save the image, or copy it and go from there. The full screen just, it does what it says. The settings, the chart parameters, for me, I don't like to have I only like to have the session bars. I don't like to have the grid. And you can edit this from here, right? You can edit all that from here. Not too much into it, but the main things are the vertical grid lines and the horizontal grid lines, whereas you'll have the option to edit whether or not you can see those, right? So if it were me and I wanted to add those grid lines, you can see that by doing this, now I get the vertical grid lines for each different hour that I'm in the session, right? I don't want that, right? So I'm gonna edit this to make them invisible, right? Is that a word? I don't know, invisible, if that's a word, but I'm going to use it because I like that. Then the next icon is my chart layout. Under my chart layouts, right? The thing that you want to consider is make sure that this auto save is checked so that you automatically have the computer updating your charts as you make changes to it, right? If you don't, you can hit a Control S to automatically save. And then if you want to ever share your chart settings out with somebody, make sure you have the sharing icon checked, right? Because when you guys share your charts out and people can't see them because it's saying that it's restricted, is because this icon is not checked. And if you want to ever rename it, right now mine's renamed. My name for this particular chart is US 30 chart. If I ever wanted to change that, I could change it from here. If I ever wanted to make a copy of that, I can make a copy from here. I can load a new chart. This will give the options for me to load the charts that I already have saved or create a new chart based off of the charts that I don't have. So because I have a Pro Plus account, I have 10 charts that I can save. And if you have less than 10, this will automatically create a new chart. So that's all that means. Load the charts gives you the option to load the charts that you already have saved, and then you can kind of go through what you have available. So the ones that I have available are compiled from this list of charts, right? So there are 5 here and 5 here. So I have those 10. Another thing to consider is selecting the layout, right? I like to trade with 3 different charts available to me at one different time, right? And you do this under this particular icon, select layouts, right? I like to use this third one right here, which gives me I trade with a 5-minute, off the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute, and the 4-hour, right? So I want to always know what's going on those particular time frames, right? So in doing so, I keep this window open. I keep this layout open as I'm trading. So that way I can see what's going on each one of these charts, right? Because usually my structure is coming from the 4-hour. That's my higher time frame. And I'm getting my entries from the 15-minute or the 5-minute. And I'm getting my entries from those 2 charts because if it's a very volatile market, I'm going to get my entries off of the 5-minute. If it's a medium to low volatility market, I'm going to get my entries off of the 15-minute, right? So that way I don't miss the setups, right? So I always keep these, the 5-minute right here, the 15-minute right here, and the 4-minute right here. This is an option for you guys as you go throughout your trading career, right? So I always keep that in mind, right? Let's go back to the single chart, right? The next thing we'll cover is the replay. This is used mostly for back testing, right? So for you guys that are looking to back test, like back test Kim's strategy, back test the strategies and the moves that I offer to you guys. So the call that I called out this morning, back testing, yeah, Candace, I will go over that. So the call that I called out this morning was this area of structure right here where I buy the break of this zone right here, right? And I got this based off of this 1 hour, right? So this 1 hour candle right here was our zone, right? We sold it from here. I mean, bought it from here. And if we go back to this area, our buy situation was basically sell the high, buy the high of this wick, sell the low of this wick, right? We saw from the lower time frames in this same area that we created some structure, right? We adjusted after we saw that there was wicks around the 24,800 area. And we can use the replay tool to use that to back test, right? So this replay gives us the option. So once you click on this, it gives you an option to set your bar where you want to see this play out from, right? So this red bar lets me go back and play out the structure and the events of what's happening at wherever I set that bar from. So in this case, I set the bar off of this candle. I'll get the option to play how this passed out, how this transpired off of this tool right here. So I can set the speed to whatever I choose to, whether it be 1 bar every second or more, and hitting play, I can see how the candles played out. So at this point, I'm not in the trade, I'm not in the trade, not in the trade. I get in the trade here, right? This is where I got in the trade. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. I got into this buy at 24830 on my broker. 24830. 24830. Looking at it over here was right here, right about here, right? We see we got our, so I got in somewhere around here. And from that point, you can see how this back testing strategy, right? We got our target right here. I hit my first target at 25,000. My second target was this break. We hit our second target at 25,100, and it kind of consolidated from there, right? And using this replay strategy, we can see how that transpired, right? So keep that in mind. And the fact that you guys have the paid version, you can see it's from all the way down to the 1 minute time frame, right? The 30-second time frame if you want. And I had a I took my for this particular trade, I traded the break here right around 24,830. My targets were 25,000 and 25,100. I kept a trailing stop in that stopped me out right here. So my whole order, I took profit here, here, and here, right? And I could do that, you know, because I got in at such a good entry, right? Let's see what 4 hour. Let's see, Candace asked, can we explain what do you mean by back testing? So when I refer to back testing, I'm referring to viewing the charts based off of my parameters and seeing how my setup played out with current price action, right? So this is current price. This is current price action right here. All of this is today's price action, right? So I want to see how my setup that I predicted reacted to price action based on today's trading session, right? So for me, my trading session, my prediction was that if it broke this structure, that I would hit my first and second targets, right? And but prior to this, I don't have the prior knowledge of this taking place, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and see how price reacted to the area that I predicted that would be the breakout and retest, right? And based off of what my predictions were, the probability shows that my targets would have been hit from here at this target one at 25,000, and then target two was my sell break from the initial breakout at 25,100. So I got into my trade here at 24830. I hit my target here for the first target. Then I hit my second target here. And then my third target was here. And based off of what my predictions were and price actions and the back testing that I did, the setup that I created met all the criteria for current price action for me to reach all of my targets, right? So that's how you back test, right? You want to give your predictions, create your setup, and then look and view how price reacted once the setup plays out, right? The 4 hours, which situation? Anna, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you could elaborate, please do. The replay is awesome by William. And then Aja says, I drew up my chart for US 30 over the past month with loads of Kim zones and mine. And I click on the eye icon, and on the left side of the chart, right above the bin icon, and left it for a while. And it must have moved and saved the hidden markup as I auto save for every 2 minutes. The question is, how do you get those back? Not really sure about what you're asking for this, but if you can turn on the mic and ask the same question, then maybe we can get some clarity. So
Yeah, sure, man. Are you hearing me okay?
yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yes, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bin icon at the left hand side there.
Bin icon.
Right below, yeah, right there.
This one?
Yeah, if you click on that, you see it deletes your chart, right? Or
Right.
just temporarily. Right, so I did that just to see my chart a bit clearer. And then from there, I must have just, got up for, to help with the kids or something, left it for like 2 minutes, and it auto-saved because I have the auto-saved on. So basically I just lost all those charts, chart marks up. So now I don't know how to get that back. Instead I'd have to go in back in Discord and start marking up from time.
Yeah, that's
So
where setting this auto save setting, right?
Yeah.
Make sure that you have this auto save setting in, right? And if you don't, even if you don't have the auto save, make sure every now and then you hit the control save option right here.
Yeah.
So that way you're
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to look at it, right?
Yeah, but because I said that auto saved on, it auto saved over the fact that I've clicked that the chart, the markups off.
Right. So you click this, then auto save.
Yeah, and then after 2 minutes, it basically saved nothing. So saved the blank chart. So I lost all those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't think there's a way to get around that. That's just one of those things you gotta kind of be aware of.
All right, cool. Appreciate your time, Domingo.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way you can get around that. So with our replay, we can see how we can use this to back test. In our case, I hit TP1, 2, and 3 on this trade, and I just kind of got out. So I didn't get the whole move, but I got enough of the move to where I felt comfortable, right? The next icon we'll look at, and we can play this out, right? So based off of where we are right now, if I'm looking at taking a trade from here, like I told the guys last night in the London session, find the most recent structure. The most recent structure right now is this is a high right here. This is a high right here at these wicks, right? This is a low that's created, a higher low right here. This is your structure area right here, right? And we want to look at this as if we're going to trade the breakout of the high or the low, right? So we will box this in, and we will either trade the break and retest for the buy or the break and retest for the low. That's as simple as it is. And the best way to approach a trade, if it's already in the move, is don't panic. Just wait for it to find the next area of structure. You find the next area of structure, box that in, trade the break and retest of that area, right? So this is if I never got into any of this move, right? If I came to this chart right now and I saw, let me drop this to the 15-minute. If I came to this chart, right, and I missed all of this move, right? All of this upward movement, right? Don't panic and just jump in the trade, right? That's the worst thing you can do is panic and enter a trade, right? Just wait until you get some form of structure. And right here, we got our high right here, and right here, we got our low. So essentially, we just box that in and trade the breakout of this structure, right? So we got this being a little area of rejection. It responded to that area of rejection here. I'll box that in right here. And if it breaks above this, I already got previous areas of structure at 25951 that I've used. That could be my TP1. And then my TP2 now could be this 26100 area. Another previous area that I've used, because we already have proven that this is an area that could possibly reject from right here. Each one of these targets, right? So that's something else to consider, right? The next thing we'll go into is the alert tab, right? With the alert, you have a couple options, right? Your condition is the pair. Your crossing, right? If you're crossing up, that means that I'm going for a buy. If I'm crossing down, that means I'm going for a sell. Those are really the only ones that I use outside of this one. So I use these first three options: crossing, crossing up, crossing down, or greater than or less than as well. But I really just use these first couple ones, right? So my value, I leave that based off of the value. The options, if I want it to happen only once or every single time. And I usually set this to every single time. And in order to consistently use this, you will definitely need the paid version of the TradingView account, right? The paid version of the TradingView, because the paid version of the TradingView account allows you to set the parameters for the conditions and the options, plus the alert action. Whereas you want to have this notify on the app, show up as a pop-up on the screen right here, send an email, which automatically shoots you an email to your phone, or send a notification on your actual phone, right? So you'll get the notification to show up under your notifications over here on your phone. You will need to have the paid version, right? So when I set my alerts, right, my alerts will look something similar to this. right? So I used 248.50. I'm going to use 248.50 as my alert price, right? So if I get a break and close above 248.50, and this automatically update my message, I'm going to change this to just signify what I'm looking for. US 30 break, buy, break above 25850, right? That'll be my notification, right? And we can set that from here, right? And I'll have that set from here. But right now, it's like testing that. So I got my notification on my screen, and I also got my notification from my phone, right? So this is something you want to have as an addition, and that's installing the TradingView app right here on your phone, right? Installing the TradingView app on my phone. I don't have the plug to like show you exactly where my phone is, but you can see that that is already breaking, right? It does. What did you click to make it pop up? I didn't click anything. This was the settings, right? So notification on the app, show pop up, and send email. Those are the ones that you have the option to check, right? The notification on the app pops up on this screen and on the mobile phone app. Show pop up is the one that shows on the screen itself, and send the email sends an email to yourself. I like to keep a message right here just to know what I'm looking for as far as my alerts, and go from there, right? This actually broke, right? That was a good setup, actually. Let's see. If we had an enter right here on that, we would have been 80 pips in profit. Sorry, I didn't call that. Sorry about that. And on the 5 minute, let's look at that. That would have been a good little move right there, right? Sorry about that. Let me see.
So Corey, I had a question for you.
Yep.
So when you got better at your trading, would you say that for you personally, getting the paid version of TradingView allowed you to step up your game from your trading aspect?
Definitely. Wale, you were in profit? You took this trade?
What's that?
I'm sorry, hold on. Wale, you took that trade? Lester, you took that trade? Oh my God. Y'all some beasts, man. Y'all are some beasts. Drop that in the chat. Drop that on in the chat right there. That is what's up. So you are up 80 pips right now. That is what's up. But yes, when I added the paid version, because I got to set my alerts, I got to, I get the full analysis, get the full plethora of chart options in order to analyze my charts, right? So this is me, taking advantage of everything that I have. And MT4, as I'll show you, is good, but it doesn't give you all of this stuff you have, to use, right? Dang, a good stop loss. Hold on. Good stop loss for you guys that jumped in this trade, and y'all some suckers right now, because y'all got in the trade and I couldn't get in it. A good stop loss is right below this structure right here, at 27,724. But the way that I trade, once I'm up 50 pips, I automatically move my stop to break even. So if you guys are in this trade and you've already entered this trade from the break of structure, I would suggest that you move your stop losses into profit and place them underneath these wicks right here, over here in this structure right here. So I, move it up to about 15 pips in profit. And then this becomes a risk-free trade for whoever just took it. not 80, but 40. 40. Wale, yo ass. All right, so we got the replay option in play, and we got the alert. The templates, I don't really use the templates, but this just gets you the option to set a template for, you know, maybe you like certain settings, maybe you like certain indicators to always show up on your platform. That's where that comes into play. Like I said, I don't really use it. I don't really use the financials indicator. But for me in particular, everybody doesn't use this. The only indicator that I use is volume. And the volume indicator that I use is volume, right? This one. That's what's showing below as we speak, right? On Thursday, I do a volume indicator course, and I won't go into it now, but to simply put, the volume indicator expresses the number of traders that are in the market for a given time frame, right? So we're on the 5 minute. This volume indicator right here displays the number of traders that traded on this particular candle. That's the simple, sweet version of trading with volume, right? So in this particular case, there were 400 traders, 400 orders placed on this 5 minute candle compared to the previous candle who only had 60 orders placed on that candle. So this candle with the increase compared to the previous candle where it went from 60 to 403 implies that there are new buyers that have just entered the market on this trade, right? So if you were to take this buy, you would be good because you, as well as others, jump into this same break of structure, right? That's basically the essence of trading with volume, right? The next icon we'll consider is the candles. You guys don't, I don't know anybody that trades with bars, halo candles. I know some people that trade with Hikinashi. The line chart, I would suggest that for you guys that are new to trading in order to find your zones and mark up your charts. And any other one of these candles, Rankos, Oren Wright does some very, very good training on using Rankos. I could teach it to you, but I won't. Maybe if you guys want to do that on another session, I can teach you how to use Rankos and Hikinashi candles, but I won't do that right now. And then finally, the minute candle, the minute and hours. We all kind of got familiarity with the time frames. And then this gives you the option to select the chart that you want to choose from. We usually operate off of the Owanda broker. So this US 30 USD is based off of the Owanda broker's numbers, right? This option just gives you just default profile settings. The only thing that this gives you some of the similar options that you have under here, the chart, managing the chart layouts. Just to confirm, is US 30 and a buy after the retest. Give me 1 second, I will review that. Only other thing that I consider is the sign out and the dark theme. Maybe you want to update that theme to be a dark theme so that you can trade from the dark version. This is for those late night traders that are up with me on the London session that want to look at things from a different perspective and not kill their eyes. And then that only other thing is the what's new icon, just to understand what's going on new with the TradingView platform, right? So I'm gonna probably murder your name. Navarun asked is Just want to confirm, is US 30 still a buy? So if you didn't get in on the break, let's see. If you didn't get on the break, we already hit our first target. If you didn't get on the break, our second target is here. Our second target is 25980, and I would actually round that to 25975. Wait until it gets to 25975 and look to see if it forms structure. If it forms some kind of structure at 25975, box that in, trade the breakout, okay? If it drops and retests this area of structure, then you'll take the entry at 25805, 25850 right here. You'll trade the retest of this structure, and it'll need to hold above this area right here. There she goes. She's going to go to see Jesus. That's what Lester says. Lester says she's going to see Jesus. If you're in the trade, I hope she does. But as you can see, you're getting wick rejection. So it's not a promise that Jesus will be sought after on this particular trade. Y'all in y'all words, man. Going to see Jesus. All right. So the icons here, the crossbar icon, dot icon, those are kind of self-explanatory. The lines are kind of self-explanatory. The only one of these that I would recommend you consider are the parallel channels, right? Let's open up gold's chart. We open up gold chart. Gold, XAU, gold, 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 gold. If you look at gold's chart, right, from the higher time frame, let's look at it from the 4 hour, right? No, this is not it. XAU. Gold is, where are you, buddy? Hang on. Gold. Why can't I find this right now? Gold is USD. Gold. Okay. All right. So gold, right? Again, it's a little crazy because I'm using my markup, but in this particular option, set of option, the parallel channel would show you guys that gold is actually trading within a channel, right? And I'll throw my markups on this, right? On the higher time frame, you can see kind of just disregard my markups. Let me clear some of this stuff off. Gold is trading within a channel, right? We got a channel that's low. Every time it gets to this area, it rejects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 times. Every time it gets to this area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's trying to get to this point to reject. That means it is trading within a channel. This is the channel low, high, low, high, low. It broke right here and tried to break the channel right here. retested it right here. That's a low. And now it's just kind of trying to figure out if it's going to stay outside of the channel. So this is the only tool I'll use outside of the trend line, the horizontal line, horizontal ray, and sometimes the vertical line and crosshair. I'll use this parallel channel, right? Those are some of the ones that I use to draw this channel out right here. Inside of this icon, the only thing that I really use is the fib retracement. And Anna says channel was on the 15-minute in April. Yep. This channel is all the way back here, right? It started right here on the 9th, actually. And it confirmed it over here on the 14th and the 21st. So this has been in this channel since April the 21st, right? Or April the 9th, right? You take this off, it's still pretty much in this channel where this is the low, high, it broke right here. This little area broke, but it held the channel up, right? These are my highs right here, and it held the channel. So now we'll need to see that we get another retest of the high, right? Yep. And that's the only thing that I typically use in this particular set of tools is the fib retracement, right? US 30 just broke. It just if you guys are in this trade, we want to see this hold above this 25850, right? Which we got our wick rejection. So this wick rejection, if it holds, this will confirm that this moves back up from here. So the way that I like to view it is, I like to view this as an ABC setup, right? So in this case, we got our 0, we got our A, we got our B at the retest, and then the C would be our move up, right? So we're looking for an ABC setup. Easy as said, right? Our 0 to A is our break and our retest. Our A to B is our, our 0 to A is our breakout. Our A to B is our retest. And then our B to C is our move. So right now we have a confirmation so far as it goes that we have this retest area being confirmed right now, because as we got to our initial entry on the breakout, we got our wick rejection, which we want to see at this area. The next candle should be another wick rejection, and the following candle should be the move up from here, if this is going to move up. So for those of you that took this trade, shouts out, and I hope you took profit. I hope you move your stops into profit. The other icons that I use, like I said, I don't use many of these except for the fib retracement. Inside of this icon, I'm usually using the rectangles, the rotated rectangles, the ellipses, and the curved lines to draw your text lines here. That's kind of self-explanatory. This icon, I use the Elliott impulse waves, the Elliott triangle wave, and the Elliott correction wave. Those are the ones that I use. This particular one is an Elliott correction wave, which typically has a 3-wave pattern. Like this is 1, 2, 3, right? The break, retest, and the move, right? That's what that represents, right? And that's typically the tools that I'll use, right? Inside of this tool, I use the long and short positions to estimate what my risk reward ratio will be. So if I take the long position, which we're in right now, let's go to the 15-minute or the 1 hour, right? This will give me what my reward to risk ratio will be, right? So if I'm using this as my reward, and then we'll drop down to the 15-minute and find my risk. If I'm saying this, if it drops below this, I'll get out of the trade. So this will be my risk, right? This is how you calculate that, right? So for this particular trade, from this low to this high, I'm looking at a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, right? So that means that I would need 2 of these red boxes to make this green box. That means that this is a highly profitable trade. You have a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? So if it hits TP2, where this was my TP1, if it hits TP2, I would have made a 2-to-1 profit on this trade. That implies that you are trading in a positive ratio, right? So that's what you want to use this tool for, right? And then you also have the same option if you're taking a short position, right? So if I'm taking a short position right here, I'd be able to do the same thing for a short position. I place this middle bar at my low, and I will be looking to trade back down to this zone as my profit target. Drop down to the 15-minute chart. My break would be right here. So in this case, I will be looking at a 2-to-1 as well. And if I double click this, I can put it in from here. Where do you get that? That's right here under this tab. That's long position for a buy. Short position would be for a sell. And then if I double click it, I can set the parameters. This would be my entry price. This would be my take profit overall. And then this would be my stop loss price, right? I can manually put it in, or I can either drag it to that. And now I can see my reward to risk, right? So I'll know every time I take a trade that this is what my reward to risk will be. And you always want to try to make sure that you're trading with at least a 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 at minimum reward to risk ratio, right? So for this particular trade, a 2-to-1 would be reaching the 26100 area for those of you guys that took the trade. A 1-to-1 would basically be our first target, a little above our first target at 2597, 25980 or 25975, right? This icon, the arrow icon, kind of self-explanatory. If you want to drop any of that in there. Your measure icon, this one gives you, this one has a lot of questions about it, right? A lot of people who are asking how to count pips, this icon will give you everything you need, right? So if this is my entry right here at 25850, right? This is where my entry will likely be, right? And I want to know how many pips I'm going to get out of this move, right? So this move is approximately 251, right? And you get that number from these numbers here, right? So this 251.4 pips. If you're looking at this, you just want to simply take this last number, put the decimal in front of it, and that gives you the number of pips. So if you guys are looking at, let's say, NAS 100, right? NAS 100, US 30. You guys want to know how many pips you're going to get off of this move. Let's look at this. measuring tool right here. I want to know how many pips this is from here. Same situation, right? If I go from 3102, right, to 31, let's say 3132, 31, right? This is 28.8 pips, right? Same thing right here. That's how you know how many pips you got out of this move, right? So if you're ever wondering like how many pips did I just get, or how do I calculate the pips, that's the same thing that you would get on TradingView. This tool, just the zoom magnet, that lets you lock in on a certain area. This lets you stay in drawing mode. This locks the screen so that you won't edit any of the tool, any other platform. So if I want to make sure that I don't make any changes, I would tap this lock right here. This will lock you in draw mode, and then this will hide all the tools, and then this will delete it right here. So that's pretty much your TradingView overview, right? Does anybody have any questions from the TradingView overview?
Hey, Corey, I have one more for you.
Go ahead.
So when you're looking at the shooting back to do a back test.
Okay.
So one of the things is when you go back, try not to look at what played out. So you're not a little biased when you do your little test. If you quickly shoot by, can you start from one point and move forward, or do you have to start at a point and does it kind of rewind backwards?
So there, with back testing, unfortunately, there's always going to be a slight bias because you know what happened, right? If we look back at US 30 from, let's say we look back at US 30 from last year, we already kind of know for a fact that price closed above that. So if we were to just do a back testing strategy and put a trade in and just left it there, we know that at some point we would have been in heavy profit, right? So that's just you personally. You'll have to take that bias out of the equation, right? So for me, when I'm back testing, right, I try to randomly pick a day and say, all right, I'm going to look at April 1st of 2017, right? And I'm going to close my charts. And there is a option, whereas down here on the screen, go to, right here. There was a go to option. If I want to look at that date and take out as much bias that I can, I'm going to go to the go to option right here. Type that in right here, right? I want to go to April 2017, right? And I'm going to say April 17, 2017, right? I want to know what happened from that point on, right? This will take me to that date, right? As far as it can go, because I'm going from the, let me look at this from the 1 hour, sorry. Because on the 15-minute, you don't get as much data, right? The 15-minute, you won't get as much data. So I'm on the 1 hour now. I'm on the 1 hour. You get more data on the 1 hour, right? That's just based off of what the broker has available, right? I'm going to go from the 1 hour, right? I'm going to go to my go-to. Now I'm going to go to April 17, 2017. I'm going to try to take out as much bias as I can, right? Because just trading at this very moment, we know that there's a high probability that from now to April 2017, we're higher than the previous market. But we're not going to consider that, right? So we're just going to go ahead and kick back to it, right? Here is where we are, right? Dang, hold on. We're gonna jump back to it, right? It only takes us back to January 18th. So from using this, right, you want to scroll out and pull this over, right? When you're back testing, right? And then I'm going to take this high, right? And then take this low right here. And then I'll say I'll trade the breakout of that, right? So when I'm back testing, I'm shifting it, right? Shifting it over, right? And I can shift it over every pip, right? Every pair, right? And I can just drag it over to see how that played out, right? So if I just keep moving it, keep moving it, keep moving it. I haven't entered the trade because I'm going to trade the breakout of this high. I'm going to break out of this low. I keep moving it, and let me just adjust my pair, adjust my box, keep moving it, and I'll say that this is my low now, right here. In order to stay unbiased, I'm still moving my chart. Okay, this is my first break of structure on this candle right here. Likely I enter on this candle, and this says because we've never been this high before, we will use a 50 to 100 pip stop loss. Target. If we do that, we hit the 50 pip, 500 pip right here on this candle right here, which we hit the target and it rejects. Over here, we keep going, we keep going. We get the retest over here off of this candle. And this is how you back test right here. We got this retest over here of this breakout area. It holds it, it rejects it. So we don't get into breakout check. We get into breakout, but we don't get into retest because it fails right here and moves back into structure, right? We keep going, expand this out. We keep going. We got a break and close above, it fails it. Another break and close above, it fails it. If you got in at any of this point, you get a break, and now you get your move right here. So for the break and retest setup, you get your first break right here. That's your 50 pips. Here is your 100 pips right around here. And then here is the move right here to another area of consolidation. That's how you want to back test, Will. That's what you want to look for.
Hey, thanks a lot, Corey. That was a great visual. That helped a lot, man. Thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
That's how you want to do it. Just take this go-to date, choose a random date, and let me send you guys this back testing spreadsheet that I made. Let me send you guys this. I made a back testing spreadsheet that I think you guys would really get some right. Let me check and see what this is. Yeah, this right here. I'm gonna send this to you guys. So this back testing strategy, right? Actually, let me send you this one. So disregard the one I just sent. This back testing strategy right here, this allows for you to kind of build out your own back testing strategy, right? For me, I was back testing the break and retest, right? So I'm back testing the break and retest, And then I'm also back testing the Fibonacci retracement and Elliott wave, right? So each time I enter the trade on the back testing setup, I entered how I entered the trade, the perceived account balance at the time. If I started with this particular account balance, the date and entry, when the alert triggered, the entry price, the stop loss, the trailing stop, and then so on, and then notes. So if you guys want to use this and do some back testing, I would definitely suggest that, right? The green trades are the trades that I hit the stop, that I hit the take profit. The orange trades are the trades that like either broke even or either I closed them out ahead of time. The blue trades right here are trades that hit TPs all the way through. And then, of course, the red trades are the ones that I actually lost on based off of whatever my parameters were, right? So I did the first 30 for you, first 32 for you. So just copy the lines from here and paste them on underneath this, right? That's a good, really, really good tool for you to use to do back testing, right? And then finally, you know, that kind of completes everything that's in TradingView. And the next thing we'll go into is to close out. We'll go into the...
Corey, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's about the risk reward icon that you use for the long and the short position. So when we go in for a buy, and if we wanted to calculate the risk reward, how do we like place it? I mean, do we place the target, the green portion, like where we're gonna enter it, or I think I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good question. So based off of your entry, right? So my entry, if you enter in on that trade, right? This middle bar, there are 3 bars to consider, right? There is the low, that's the stop loss. There's the entry, that's where you're gonna enter in the trade. And then this is the TP, right? You wanna take the entry and place it wherever you plan on entering the trade, right? So in this case, I planned on entering the trade at 25850, right? And that's where my entry is. My stop loss was below this structure right here. So I'm gonna drag my stop loss underneath here. And this was my target up here. And then you can also manually enter this. This is my entry price right here. This is my profit right here. And then this is my stop loss. So you can either drag it or you can do a manual entry of whatever your target's gonna be.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so let's jump into MT4. All right, so MT4, with regards to MT4, there's some things that you want to consider once you initially set up. And as you can see, I always trade with the 5-minute, 15-minute, and the 4-hour under all circumstances, right? Under all circumstances, right? Some things to consider when you set up your platform, right? You want to go into tools, right? You want to go into options. And you want to make sure under your chart, not your chart, but your trade, right? You want to make sure that this one-click trading is selected, right? That gives you the ability to have this option so that I can enter my trades from here, right? That's where that comes into play. The next thing under tools, under options that you want to consider is also the notifications, right? If you guys want to get notifications sent out to your mobile phone, right? So anytime you enter a trade, anytime you update your stop loss or you hit TP and you want to get notifications to your phone, I want to show you this, but my cord is jacked up right now. But let me see if it works this time. Try one thing and see if this works. Hang on 1 second. Drop some 777s in the chat if you're getting a lot of valuable info from this session. All right. Drop some 111s if you're absolutely confused. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, drop 111 in the chat. If you're just ready to get off this session and you're confused, drop 111. Beth, Chantel, you a 777 and a 111? What? What's going on, man? No, I don't want that. No. What are we confused about? All right. I'm gonna have to show you from the screen, all right? That's not good. Who is it? Who is 111 status? What are you confused about? What are you confused about? Yeah, this is recorded. Who dropped the 111? Beth dropped the 111. Chantel, what's going on? What are we confused about? Hit me offline. All right, hit me offline. Okay, so what we looking at, right? If we want to set notifications on our mobile phone in order to get notifications sent to our mobile phone, right? And what you're looking at right now is a list. I don't know what you can see right now, but you're looking at a list of notifications that I've gotten to my phone from my MT4 platform. You'll need to have this on your computer installed, right? And
Corey, I got a quick question before you keep going.
okay.
This is Natalie.
Okay.
So I've tried to download it on my computer, on my laptop.
Okay.
And mine, because I have a broker, FX Choice, so I tried to log in with my MT4 FX Choice account, but then from there, I don't feel like it works.
Okay. My question for you, are you using a Mac or a PC?
I'm using an HP.
For you, this should work with no problem. For you,
I'm sorry, say that again.
For you having a PC, this should work with no problem. The question for you is, when you go into log into your account, what are you setting as the login and the server?
Mine looks like that, the Pro, because I switched it from the Classic. But so that noise that I hear on everybody's computer, is that normal? That ding, that doom?
Yeah.
That is?
Yep.
What is that?
That's the notification that you're connected to the server, your login server. When I log in,
but I'm not getting those on my phone.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
All of that. See, I hear all of those noises.
Yeah, you shouldn't get that on your phone. This just happens on the computer. So
okay.
You should get this on your computer only, right?
Okay.
And this is how you know you
all of that. I think
if you get this little if you get that noise, and then you come down here to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, right? You want to make sure that the connection is showing a value here. and it's gonna be looking like something like this. Mine is 22550/22KB. That's the amount of bytes that you're transferring at one given time. If it's showing you something like that, you're good. The only problem is when you see no connection. That's when you want to be worried. Got me?
Okay.
If you see no connection, then be worried. If you see any numbers right here, you should be good, right? And for
Where's
you
your mouse
guys,
at? Because I don't see that.
what do you see?
I see your screen, but I don't see where your mouse is at, where you're pointing to.
Right here, you see I'm over here near the 4-hour chart.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Down here.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
corner,
yes. Yes.
bottom right hand corner of the screen, right? You want to make sure that there's digits here. You see where I am?
Okay, yes.
You want to make sure there's digits. For you guys that have a MacBook, right? And you are having trouble with setting up, the first thing you want to do is click on this apple in the top left-hand corner and then go to About This Mac, all right? If you have a version of Mac that's 10.15.5 or above, you will not be able to install MT4 on the computer unless you use a virtual box, right? So if you have Mojave, something like that, then you shouldn't have to worry about this. You can just go to the website and install it on the computer. But if you have Catalina, you will need to download this. You'll need to download Parallels. And let me take you to the website and I'll send the link out to you. This is an app called Parallels, right? And it lets you essentially use, Sierra might work too. I'm not sure if Sierra works, but I know if you have Catalina, Anna, you cannot do it this way, right? Yosemite should work, Mojave should work, but Parallels, eventually you guys that have all these later versions, you'll need to upgrade your computer anyway, because you don't want to work in those previous versions of the platform, of the OS, because that kind of leaves you and makes you prone to viruses and malfunctions on your computer. So you actually want to keep updated to the latest version. But this tool is, this is also something you'll have to pay for, sorry. But this allows you to run your MT4 as within a new window. So I'll exit this. And this is my my Windows desktop right here, right? This is my Windows desktop. And on this Windows desktop that runs on top of my my MacBook OS, I can open this window and function as if I have a Windows computer, right? And I can open up my MetaTrader browsers from here. If I switch to this view called intercoherence, it'll act as if it's a regular app on my MacBook. So this now is acting as if it's a regular app on my MacBook, and I can still use it seamlessly as if it's just another app, right? So and that accounts for anybody that's running for Catalina, and those of you guys that are in the lower versions, Sierra, Mojave, that I would recommend that you go ahead and upgrade to. This application is $70, $79.99. You can download VirtualBox for free, but you will have to switch in between. You'll have to switch in between. You know, you'll have to log out, log into the virtual box, and then go into it. This will let you operate on the same platform. So I kind of recommend this more so. Yeah, invest in yourself. Can you add bill up, please? Can you add my bill up? I don't know about that. I don't know what you mean by that, but so back to subject, right? So tools, options. If you want to add alerts on your phone, you'll need to go to tools here. Go to tools, then options, and then come to notifications. Enable push notification, notify trade transaction, and then if you have the MetaTrader 4 app on your phone, let me know if you can see this, right? You can see this? You guys can see this, right? You see my phone? Okay. There is, if you're using an iPhone, there is a chat and messages option, right? You're gonna click on that. And at the bottom, there is a My MetaTrader Quotes ID. You guys can see that on my screen. My MetaTrader Quotes ID. Now, you take that MetaTrader Quotes ID and copy it into this MetaTrader Quotes right here. You copy that ID from your phone. If you're using an Android, it should be under your settings, still under the chats and messages as well. I don't know how to navigate there, but you're still looking for the chats and messages screen, right? Under settings. And you want to go click in there, and then you'll get the My MetaQuotes ID, right? We'll copy that. We'll copy that, right? And paste that into the MetaQuotes ID tab. When we do a test, right? When we do a test from our MetaTrader screen, right? Let's do a test. You'll notice that I got a trigger, a test message right here, if you can see it. I got a test message that says something about test message, Corey J. Patterson, FX Choice Limited, right? And I get that anytime I click on that test icon. So that means that we're set up for it, right? I got it again right here. That means we're set up for it. It will give you an option to download MT4, sign in, and that will link.
I'm sorry, Corey. I'm battling my bird is on my keyboard. I was telling, I think Natalie mentioned she was having a hard time getting it. I did it real easy by going to a website. Then once you download it, it'll have the MT4 little download icon. As soon as you hit that and it links to your MT4 account on your phone, your TradingView and everything will sync automatically.
A lot of people's brokers account doesn't have it. So
okay.
Just remember this way first. Like the easiest way is to come to your settings and then look for chat and messages, because a lot of other brokers don't have this. And then once you come into chat and settings, look for My MetaQuotes ID, grab the ID. Parallels, it's a one-time payment of $79. You might be able to do it per month, Sally. I'm not sure. I just paid the whole thing. So you add that here in there, and you should be good to go. You should be able to get your messages, right? And so inside of the MT4 app, the things that you want to consider is if you guys are confused about, maybe you don't see a symbol, maybe you're wondering why and where is US 30 on the app, or you want to know where, you know, what's US, what's NASDAQ or what's S&P, you're going to go under view and then symbols. And then this gives you the option to add those, right? And since we're under indices, when you first come to this, if you don't already have this, the pair will be marked gray, right? This gold will be gray like this right here. And you'll come under here and select the pair and add it. And from that, by doing so, you'll be able to open up the charts for that particular pair. So right now, if we look under indices, I got all those added. Right here, I got the JER 30, I got the Japan Nikkei, I got the FTSE for UK, I got the Dow Jones, I got the S&P 500, I got NASDAQ. I got all those. Energies, this is crude oil right here. This is oil, WTI crude oil. I don't have these because they're grayed out. The crypto, I have Bitcoin. I don't have Ethereum and Litecoin. But if I wanted to add them, all I got to do is just double click and add and then close it out. And that's how I'll add those if you're ever wondering why you don't see anything, right? The toolbars. I have the option to customize these, but I kind of leave those as default. The chart bars, you leave that as default. Status bars, leave that as default as well. If I want to insert any indicators, which I always add the volume, this is my volume indicator right here that's displaying right here, right? So I'll add that. If you guys want to add anything else, this is where you come to do so. Charts, the things about the thing about the chart options that I would consider is the time frame and templates, right? So let's say you marked up this chart all nice and fancy or whatever it is, and I want to save this, right? If I come to templates, save this template right here. Let's say I want to save this US 30, and today's date is 6/15. US 30, 6/15, 2020, right? So for this chart, right, I want to save this, right? And now this chart is saved, and I can apply this to any other chart that I want to set this on my MT4, right? And I've saved this template, so I'll need to come to template and then look for the one I just saved, right? Which is this US 30, 6/15, 2020, right? And I can apply that to this chart if I wanted to. Right here, I won't do it, but I can apply this same template, right? The other thing to consider, if I want to go to zoom in, grid lines, these are things that I can add. They're kind of self-explanatory. Zoom in and zoom out. If I want to save a picture of this, I can do so by clicking on save as a picture, saving the workspace. It saves all three of these windows. Yeah, you can save all three of these windows, and it will kind of open up in an outside terminal or whatnot. But you can see that this will pop up as a new window, like if you wanted to ever kind of save this or whatever. I don't really use this a lot, but that is an option. And then we go into the grid, the volume, that's kind of self-explanatory. The one that you want to consider is the properties, right? And you want to consider properties because this is where you'll edit the layout of your form, right? Of your screen, right? So in my case, my background is white, my foreground is black, my grid lines are silver, my bullish bars are medium blue, bearish bars are crimson, my bullish candles are blue sky, bear candles are red, my line graph is black. So this kind of lets you set up what you're seeing in this screen, right? And also in properties, if you go to common, another thing that you may want to consider is show OHLC, show line, show period separators, and then show object description. Those are some ones that I would recommend, right? You guys that trade based off of spread, like in my case, like I like to know what the spread is for the pair, right? And whether or not I'm going to enter this spread, whether or not I'm paying attention to the spread depends on how fast the market's moving, right? So for me, spreads is something that's important, right? Those are basically the things that you want to look for under the charts and the tools. And then the window, you don't really necessarily need this too much. And then the help, you don't really necessarily need this. The other things that you'll consider are the create new chart, which gives you the option to choose default charts that are already available, and then charts that are listed available under here. The next option, profile, don't really use that too much. Your market watch. The market watch, you can use that if you guys ever want to know, if you guys ever have any questions about a pair, right? Say for instance, you want to know what the trading volume is for a particular pair, meaning how much do you need to trade with a particular pair. If you open up your market watch and highlight it and right click and go to specific specifications, you can get that information, right? You can find out, like, I need a minimum volume of a 0.01. That means that the minimum that I can trade this pair with is 0.01, right? And also what you can find out is how much am I going to get charged for swap fees, right? My swap fees for this, if I hold a buy, will be 0.13260 for this particular pair. My swap fees for a short will be 0.642723 per every 0.1 lot, right? So every 0.1 lots that I have, I'll get charged one of these swap fees, whether I'm holding a long or a short, right? And then you'll also find out, when does my 3-day swap go into place? Wednesdays, they charge you a little more for swap fees on Wednesdays, right? So on Wednesdays, you'll need to consider, you know, if you want to hold trades over Wednesdays, because usually Wednesdays, they charge a higher swap fee. And then the last thing you can get out of this is, what are your trading sessions for this particular pair? For this particular pair, I can trade from 0-100 hours to 2,400 hours. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I can trade this at 0-100 hours starting on Sunday, basically, right? But if I look at a pair like, let's look at NASDAQ, right? For my broker, my minimum lot size is 0.01. My swap fees for a long are $7.7, so $7.70 per 0.1 lot. And then for a short position is $9.64, right? Then my trading hours. You guys are always asking questions about when does the market close, right? So for NASDAQ, the market closed at 0-100 to 23:15. That means that it closes at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time, and then it opens back up at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then it closes again at 5. That's what that means, 5 Eastern Standard Time. And then it closes until it opens back up at 6 Eastern Standard Time. So that's how you get that information, right? And then that's Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, it closes at 4:15 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. Sally asks, what is swap fees? Swap fees are what they charge you for being in a trade overnight. So if I get in a trade and I hold a trade after the 4:15 time frame, I'm going to get charged a swap fee, right? So that swap fee will be based off of the direction of the trade that I'm in and the volume that I'm trading with, right? So in this case, if I hold this trade, I'll get charged for a long, I'll get charged $7.70 for a long trade, right? For every 0.01 lot that I trade, right? That's what that implies, right? And it'll vary based off of your broker. You can get this information again by going to Market Watch here, this little icon right here, and then right click and then go to specification, and it'll tell you from here. Tell you the times it trades, tell you the swap fees, tell you what the 3-day swap fees are. All that information is there, right? So that should answer your question, Sally. Another thing to consider, right, is yep, no problem, you know. The other thing to consider with these icons, these are all pretty much self-explanatory right here. You won't really use any of these other icons. You know, this is your line, your bar chart, candle, line, zoom. This lets you auto arrange. This lets you scroll. This lets you shift to the left. Indicators, periods, templates, and then of course this is your time frames, and then these are your custom icons where you can add lines, fibs, text, and whatnot. All these are kind of self-explanatory, right? The thing that I want you to consider at this point is your terminal, right? This terminal icon. So you got your trade icon. This tells you the balance of whatever you're trading with. And if you're in an active trade, you're going to show from here. Then you got your exposure. You know, your exposure defines how much money you can actually trade with for a given trade, right? Based off of your leverage, right? So whatever your leverage is for your broker, you have the leverage displayed here, right? So right now we're not in any trades, right? So our exposure and our margin is 0. This will change as we enter trades, right? Your account history displays what trades you've taken and open and close. Don't really use the news. I do use the alerts because I want to use this to set alerts. I'll go into that in a second. I don't really use the mailbox. Don't really use the market. The market is if you want to buy EAs, expert advisors to expert advisors if you want to add any additional indicators or scripts to your trading, right? That's basically all that's for. The signal is, you know, there are certain people that sell their signals in the MetaTrader 4 environment. Articles, I don't use that. Code-based experts don't really use that. The only other thing to consider is the journal, right? A lot of you guys, I've had to troubleshoot some of your efforts, right? And some people that I've worked with that have had like intermittent issues, they were saying that they couldn't trade. This is the first place you want to come and check if you're saying like you having some issues with your MT4 platform, right? And you want to go to journal, right? And you want to look for things like notification messages test, previous successful authentication. That means that your environment is functioning as it should, right? As long as you have positive entries in your journal, right? That means that everything is functioning as it should, right? So you want to have things like log in the data center, ping current access. That means that your platform is online, right? If you ever come to me and I say, you know, if you ever come to me and you have a question like, I don't know what's wrong with my broker. Like, for some reason, I can't access my broker, right? This is the first place I'm going to come and I'm going to look at your broker. I want to look at your account is here. And I want to see things like ping current access point pro demo. That means that I am connected to my server. I'm connected to my demo server. If I don't see any connection, I'll get something like this. Data center connection failed, right? That means that there's something wrong with your connectivity. You'll see it here in this window under journal. And you'll also see down here in your right-hand corner that there is no connection, right? So when you're seeing things like that, automatically come to this journal tab to make sure that you are actually connected to the environment, right? And that'll kind of help speed up the process of trying to figure out whether it is a platform issue, is it a network issue, or is it something that you are doing wrong in particular, right? And then, the final thing I'll go over is how to do trailing stops, right? A lot of you guys get into trades and you want to go to sleep on them, right? You want to just put the trade in and you want to just go to sleep and just let whatever happens happen, right? So in my demo account, right, let's say we enter a trade, right? I'm going to show you two things, right? I'm in this trade based off of the 5 minute. I just got into a buy. So let's zoom in, right? I'm in a buy here, right? Now, when you are trading from your desktop, which is what I prefer and what I would suggest all of you do, right? So when you're trading from the phone, you got to know the numbers, right? You got to know the numbers. And right, who has time to try to figure out what 500 pip stop loss is, right? Or 200 pip stop loss, or 100 pips take profit, when I can just base this off of structure, right? If I want to set the stop loss for this pair, let's say I'm going to set the stop loss underneath here. I can simply just drag my stop loss right here, right? My stop loss is right here underneath this structure. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about what the numbers are. All I got to do is focus on where the structure is. The structure is right here. The structure is right here, right? And I'm putting my stop loss below that structure, right? So because I know that, I don't have to think about the number. I don't have to go ahead and consider what is below structure. Below structure is 25725, right? I don't have to think about that, right? And then my target, let's say I'm going to target here because I'm in a buy, just going to drag this up to my target, right? This is where my target is. I don't have to think about it after that, right? I don't have to know what the numbers are. I just have to know where the structure is, right? I don't have to think about it, right? So now that's the great part about using the computer, because you can do that from the computer that quick. From the phone, you gotta fumble around a lot, right? You gotta go in, measure where this is. Did Kim put in this number, or did she put in that number? Or, you know, did Corey give out a signal to go from here, or use a stop loss right here or right there, right? That sometimes that you can go through that process and make an error, right? But this way, if you're doing it from the desktop, you can just quickly drop and drag, right? And it alleviates all that. Kim's stop loss is right here around this area, and her target is around this area. Corey's stop loss is around here, and his target is around there, right? And it's that simple, right? We don't have to think. We don't have to consider the numbers at all, right? And we can just go ahead and focus on our trading and managing our trade, right? So when you are, what I do as a trader is I consider a trailing stop once I'm 50 pips in profit, right? So once I'm 50 pips in profit, I set a trailing stop to automatically draw and pull my trade along with the rest of the trade, right? And I'm doing so by hovering over the entry, right-clicking, and using the trailing stop icon. By Manel says, can we set buy, sell at certain levels like you do with the stop loss? I don't use buy and sell pending orders. I just use market execution. But the only time I'll use a buy and sell stop, I'll go over that on Thursday when I use buy and sell stops on the volume session that I do. I'll go over it then. But most of the time it's a market order. That's cool? All right. So
Yes, sorry.
I set a trailing stop, right? And if you want to set a trailing stop, you want to hover over the order, right click, go to trailing stop, and then you'll hover over the trailing stop icon. Ignore all of the default settings. Ignore all of these, because 1 pip is 10 points. 1 pip is 10 points. So if we're looking at the default settings, right? There's 5 points, 10 points, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This means that these default options only allow for you to go a 0.5 pip to 4 pips of a trailing stop, right? Definitely too close, right? Definitely too close. So you want to use the custom, right? And using the custom, you want to set your points in hundreds, right? So if I want to do a 10-point trailing stop, I'm going to use 100. And anything else from there, increment by 10 or by 5, however you choose to, right? So if I want to use a 50-point trailing stop, I'm going to go ahead and type in 500. 500 points is 50 pips. So for me, once this trade moves up from here to where I entered, right? Hold on. Once this trade moves up, dang it. Once this trade moves up 50 points, right? Which is $50 right here. My stop loss is going to follow the price action, right? So 50 pips from where I entered at this trade. So 50 pips. If I entered at 25.850, 50 pips is 25.90, right? So if I entered in right there, after anything after 25.900, my stop loss will move up an additional pip, right? So let's look at this, right? So this will be my 50 pips, right? So once I get 50 pips, get to this point, my trailing stop is just going to automatically move to break even. And then everything after 50, my stop loss is just going to follow it up. It's just going to keep following. Every time it makes another point after 50, it's just going to follow it up. And I'm either going to hit my trailing stop or I'm going to hit my take profit up here, right? So that's kind of how I handle my trades in particular, right? Now, sometimes, will I have to adjust it? Yes, I will. Sometimes I'll use a 100 pip trailing stop, or I'll use a 30 pip trailing stop. But it all depends on how price action is moving, right? As to how I alter my trailing stops, right? So that's kind of up to you. Always securing the bag. That's right. Always securing the bag. The phrase I like to use is I like to always be in the money, right? I like to always be in the money. So as soon as I'm up 50 pips, my trailing stops pulls me into break even. So I don't lose a lot because as soon as I'm up 50 pips, I'm either going to scratch that and get stopped out at break even, or I'm going to take profit at my first target. Always. That's always the case. Or the third option, I'm going to hit my stop loss in profit. Every single trade that I take is 3 outcomes. I'm either going to hit my stop loss in profit, or I'm just going to, it was just a horrible trade. And I'm sorry, it's 4 options. It was just a horrible trade. That was the first option. I entered in at the wrong everything, and I did something absolutely stupid, right? And it reversed in the opposite direction, and it hit my initial stop loss, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is going to happen is it's going to move the 50 or 30 or whatever trailing stop that I use, and then it's going to come back and hit break even. That's a scratch to me, right? That doesn't even count as a loss because I didn't lose anything, right? I just hit break even, right? The third thing is I'm going to move up 50 pips, and then I'm going to come back at some point, and I'm going to close out the trade at a gain, but a small gain, right? And then the fourth thing that'll happen is I'll hit my TP. My stop loss is just following, and I always secure the bag, right? Every single opportunity, right? Those are my options. Those are my only options, right? And the likelihood of me hitting my stop loss from the initial move is a lot lower, right? I traded around 70 to 80% accuracy, right? So it's a lot lower. It's a lot lower to the fact that I'm going to hit my initial stop loss, right? So with that being said, in most cases, I'm going to at least hit the first target, right? 70 to 80% of the time, I'm going to at least hit the first target, right? And that's how I trade, right? The last thing I'm going to go over, right, is setting alerts. And there are 4 apps that I'll recommend. There's the MT4 app, TradingView, TradingView, and call levels. I'll start with call levels, right? Call levels, it only works for FX pairs. If you want to put in alerts for any other thing like the indices, you won't be able to put them in for that. You can, but any FX pairs you can put them in for. TradingView, that works for everything, right? I don't know how the numbers line up with Awanda or with your broker. I don't know how it lines up with that. But if you focus on the structure and put your alerts in based off of the structure, it should pretty much line up the same. The next thing is TradingView, right? You can set alerts on TradingView with a free account. I think the max is, I think 5 alerts. You can set 5 alerts. And that's with TradingView with the free version. If you set the Pro or the Pro Plus account, you can set up to 30, I think. I can't remember what the number is, but 30 alerts is more than enough, right? You're only gonna probably trade 1 or 2 pairs, right? Or at most 10 pairs, right? So you'll be able to set that alert, right? And then the last thing is the MT4 alerts, right? The MT4 alerts, if you were to right click in your chart, go to trading, and then go to alerts, you can set an audio notification, right? But we don't actually want an audio notification. We want something to come to our phones, right? We want to be able to see, you know, I can get my alerts to come to my phone or my Apple Watch because I have them both. So I can get alerts from both of those platforms, the Apple Watch and the phone, from my computer, right? And if you're looking at my screen, I just set an audio alert, right? And if you remember that we came to tools and set up our notification and added our MetaTrader ID, we made sure that a push notification was enabled and notify of trade transaction was enabled, right? Don't know if you're done, but I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. It may be something wrong with your computer, Gabriel. I'll record it and drop it. So if you're missing something about this, you'll be able to get it. Once you set up, Anna, once you set up your phone, your Apple Watch is automatically synced. So you don't have to do anything separate for your Apple Watch. So once you get that all set up on your phone, you'll get your notifications on your watch as well. So I get notifications from everywhere. I get it on my computer, on my phone, on my watch, like everything I'm able to get my notifications from, right? And that's when you go ahead and add your MetaTrader ID right here. And you set your push notification and trade transaction, right?
So you are doing this from MetaTrader, or you are talking about TradingView and TradingView?
This is from my MetaTrader.
MetaTrader, okay. So if I want to connect it from Apple Watch and TradingView, can I do that?
You'll actually get your, if you set notification, if you have TradingView installed on your mobile phone,
Yeah, I do.
you'll actually get notifications to your Apple Watch as well.
Actually, I get that on my laptop only, not on watch. So
Yeah, you can set it on there as well. You
okay,
can set it up there.
find out. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem. So, like, as you can see, I just want to show you guys something real quick. This trade that I just entered on my demo account just went 50 pips in profit, right? And on my phone, I got this notification. I don't know if you can see it, right? This little triggered notification, right? And now my my trailing stop just moved into profit, right? And every pip that it goes after 50 pip, this thing is just gonna follow it up, right? So if we close above this wick right here, right? If we get a close above this wick, this bid price right here, it's just gonna follow it up, right? And you can see it live trading, right? So if you guys were to have gotten in on a retest, you can see that you would have been in profit, right? My trade is just following the trailing stop is just following this up, right? And this has locked in 22 pips, right? Already. So if this trade were to go bad, right, from this point on, if it was just to reverse, I would have at least locked in 22 pips of profit. At least 22 pips of profit. I don't have to worry about this being a bad trade, right? Because I'm already in the money, right? I'm in the money. Or if I was to close this out right now, let's see how much profit we'd be in, right? Based off of my lot size, a 0.3, I would already be basically $200 in profit, right? Can you do a training on doing trailing stop? I did. If you want to add a trailing stop, again, You just right click on the order, right? You right click on your order, hover over it, and then go to trailing stop, right? And then ignore these default settings and go to custom. And if you want to add in, consider the fact that every 10 points is 1 pip, right? So if I want to use a 10 pip trailing stop, I would enter in 100 points. So that means anything after that, I would increment it by either 5 or 0, right? Try everything to do MetaTrader alerts. I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm using a 500 pip, 500 point trailing stop, which means I'm using a 50 pip trailing stop. So this will move every pip after 50 pips, right? So for my entry, which was 25846, 50 pips was at 25896. Anything after that, right? Anything after that, my trailing stop is going to drag it up with it. It's going to drag it up. So this has gone 20, this is going already 77.5 pips into profit. And it's still going, right? Because anytime you see that this red line move, that means I've gone up I've created a new high. Every time I create a new high on my trade, my trailing stop will move along with it, right? So with this trade, right? If I close above this wick on this 5 minute, this will move up. This trailing stop will move up every single time, right? Yep. Okay. The last thing is the alerts, right? And I started talking about it, right? So I already put in a default notification, a default alert. This will only give you sound, right? But if you want to get a push notification, you'll just click on the alert. This alert editor will open up, right? The things that you want to consider when you open up the alert editor, you want to consider the action, the condition, and the value, right? See, dang, whoever is in this trade, y'all are getting it in. I just want you to know that. Shout out to Wale, I know you in this. Lester, Sally, I know y'all in this. I'm mad I ain't get in it because I'm talking my butt off, but that's locked in some good little profit, right? But dang, Topaz in, God dog, all y'all in this trade, man. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous, man. So if you want to set the alerts to your phone, make sure you have this enabled check. The action option should be set to notification. The condition, if I'm taking a buy, I want my bid to be greater than the value, right? So my bid will be greater than the value, whatever I consider here, right? So in my case, my alert is here. Let's say I want my bid to be greater than 25600, right? I'll get a notification to my phone. And then under the source, I'll just type in something like this, right? This is my target 1 at 25600, right? Consider taking profit. That's what I'll put right there. That'll be my note, right? And I want this to time out after an hour. So it'll keep notifying me over an hour time frame, right? And I can test it, right? When I test it, There's my notification right here. I don't know if you can see it. Drop a 1 if you can see this notification right here. Right here. Consider taking profit. Drop a 1 if you can see it on my phone. Right here is this one. Right here. Yeah. So that's what the notification will be. You know, I just did a test. So the next time it hits that, that means I'm right here at this level where I put my alert in, right? And I would consider taking profit right there, right? And you know, these whoever was in this trade, you know, they're in good, right? They're already up. They're already up. They've already locked in 82 pips of profit. If they want to close out where they are right now, guess how many pips they're in profit right now? They're already up 100 pips. For me, 100 pips is that's what I want to close out with, right? At least 100 pips. At least 100 pips on US 30, right? If I get my alert price, if I make my alert, I'm up 158 pips. My bad. So at this point, it's just like either I hit my trailing stop in profit right here, which, geez, I wish I had got into this trade. Dang, I wish I had got into this trade. If I hit my trailing stop in profit, if I hit my trailing stop in profit, that means I'm 363 pips. I mean, $363 on my, this is my demo. Like, look at my demo account right here. If I'm in this trade and I decide I want to close out, I'm already $400 and almost $500 in profit, right? And, you know, you locking in, exactly, Camille, you locking in cash, right? You have locked in money, right? You in the money, right? And then, you know, if you are like, okay, I want to ride this the whole way, let me just move this down back to break even, or I'm going to come back and edit my trailing stop. I use a 50 pip trailing stop. This time I'm going to use 100 pip, right? Because I want to make sure that I give it some room to breathe, right? And I use a 100 pip trailing stop, and I'm going to move this closer down to break even, right? I'm giving myself room, right? Because I want to actually hit this target up here. I'm going to give myself room. I'm just going to bring it down. I'll modify it. Maybe I want to use a 200 pip trailing stop. Who knows? It just depends on how market structure is going right now. But if I'm in this trade and I'm up 450 points, I might want to take a partial, right? And if I want to take a partial from my computer, I'm going to come and hover over the lot size right here. I'm going to get this window to open, right? I want to take a partial, so I'm going to adjust the volume. Right now I have a 0.30. Let's say that I want to take, let's say, a 0.5 off of this, right? I'm going to take a 0.5. I'm going to bank this, right? I'm going to adjust the volume to take the 0.5, right? And I'm going to set the volume to 0.05. I'll close that out. I bank that, right? I've already closed out with 86 pips, $86 in profit, right? And I still have a 0.25 in that's still moving, right? And my trailing stop still going, right? I'll have to come back and adjust the trailing stop, right? After I take a partial. Topaz, what you got?
Hey, okay, so when I know how you're dragging and moving the stop loss and stuff, but when I want to put in my initial stop loss, I have to click on the actual order, right? And then put in a stop loss number.
No.
No? Okay. What's the quick, easy way to do that?
The quick, easy way is once I'm in the trade, right? If I enter the trade and I want to base my stop loss off of structure versus using a number, right? If it's a buy, I'm going to drag my stop loss below the structure and just put it in, right? And it's going to, right now it's in profit, so it's going to automatically pull me into profit, right? So, but initially I would come to my order and just drag it underneath my order because it's a buy. If this is a sell, I would drag it above the order, and then I would place my stop loss from that point on, right? That's all it is. And nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, that's easy. Thank you.
Yep. Try it in your demo account and you'll see, you know, demo it real quick and then you'll get the gist of it and then you'll know what to do from that point on. Like if I'm using this is my structure right here. And I'm going to put my stop loss below the structure, right? I'm just going to take my order, just click on my order and just hold it and drag it below the structure. That's where my initial stop loss would be. And then after that, I'll set my trailing stop from this point and then add in my trailing stop to whatever it's going to be right here. And then you'll know that you have a trailing stop because this will be highlighted as yellow. And that's pretty much it on that, right? So now in this trade, I'm either going to hit the stop loss right here or I'm going to hit TP. One or the other. But at any given point, I'm always going to be in the money every single time, right? Sally asked, can you explain that again as far as taking partials, right? You can take partials from your phone or you can take partials from your laptop, right? To take partials from your laptop, the quick and easy way is to hover over the size icon, right? Of an active trade, right? And then double click. You'll get this window open, right? And you'll get an option to edit the volume, right? I'm going to take the majority of my trade off right here. So my order right now is a 0.25, right? I am going to take a 0.20 off of this order, and then I'm going to leave in a 0.5 right here, right? So with that being done, with me taking off that point, the initial 0.5 right here, and then the next 0.20, I locked in 86 pips, $86 in profit on the first close. And then I locked in $334 in profit on the second partial, right? And I have left in the trade a 0.05, which is $80 in profit right now, right? And at this point, I'll either hit the take profit or I'll either hit the stop loss right here, which is 78 pips in profit, or I'll hit the stop loss, I'm sorry, or I'll hit the take profit, which would close me out at $141 in profit. So I'm either gonna, at this point, I'm either gonna close out with $39 on this partial or $141 on this partial. Or I'm gonna close out somewhere in between, whichever I choose to do. And that kind of depends on what I see the market doing and what is going on, right? If you wanna do this from the phone, you wanna do it from the phone, want to do it from the phone. Let me add this broker account. Shows demo. let me add this account. I don't have this one on my phone. This one is 277-2264. And I think the password is this. Give me 1 second. I'm just adding this to my phone. And I don't think I know the password to this off the top of my head. Okay. Anyway, if you want to take partials, I can't get into it. Sorry about that. If you want to take partials from the phone, you'll hit close. And if you have an active trade, you'll hit close. And then before you close, it's going to give you an option to edit the lot size, right? And it'll be in the middle of your screen, and you'll be able to do the same thing that I just did and close out the trade. It'll tell you how much you're going to close out with in profit, and you'll have the option to kind of edit it from that point on. It's kind of self-explanatory. I'll see if I can find a video on it, but that'll give you the option to close out partials on your phone, right? But I don't like you guys to trade on your phone, me personally. Like if you're using your phone, you know, and you want to be a professional trader, you have to get off of your phone eventually. Staying on your phone does not lead to profit, right? It doesn't. You know, if you're profiting from your phone, you're a G. Like you're a straight G. You're like, I commend everything you're doing in life. Like everything about you is amazing. Like, cause if you winning on your phone, and I don't know how you do it. Like I can't do it. You know, like I gotta have 2 screens. I gotta have 3 screens, right? I got 1 screen right here, 1 screen right here, and then I got this screen, right? I need all that, right? So if you doing it from your phone, you straight gangster, you a thug, you a superhero, you all that stuff. I don't know, whatever it is, right? But and you winning, like I need to sit down with you, bro, cause I don't know how you doing it, bro. Like I don't know how you doing it. I can't be. I'm gonna be honest, you know. I don't know how you doing it, but yeah, man. I don't know, bro. Like, hey, I manage my trades from my phone once I'm in them, but nothing else. Like I ain't entering no trades from my phone, right? But that's all I got for tonight. All this has been recorded. So if you want to go back and look at all this that I didn't talk for damn near 3 hours, you can do that. I don't know who got the time to sit through a 3 hour. This is a movie, you know. I just made a movie. So not just a regular movie. I just made Malcolm X, the whole thing. That Malcolm X, I made Cloud Atlantis just now. So this was that whole movie, right? My throat dry, my mouth dry. I actually was drinking before I got on this phone call. I went and got some margaritas before I got on this phone call. I don't know how I'm still going right now. So shout out to all y'all that's in this trade. I'm gonna do my last commercial plug for Priscilla. Bam. Bam. Card. Got your eyelash thing right here. This thing to put it on with. And then you got a little laser magnetic kick. I don't know what it is, but shout out to Priscilla. If you want to order it, you can order it online. Come in this cute ass box. Shit is cute as hell. That's what you're gonna get. My wife ordered it. I know Steph ordered it. And Lucy ordered it, if she's still on. So if you want some magnetic eyelashes, I would recommend Priscilla's product. Give us some shout out on the magnetic eyelashes. Turn on your mics, man. Turn on your cameras. About to stop the share right quick. I want to see everybody's face before I get off. Let me see. Let me see everybody.
Hey, Corey.
What's up, Steph?
You missed US 30 because you was drinking margaritas?
Huh?
Why you missed US 30? Because you was drinking those margaritas?
Because I was running my mouth, man. Because I was running my mouth. Mara got the little midget over there. What's going on? Chantel, I think she in the grocery store or something, right? She is in the grocery store. It looks like she's on the beverage aisle. Will look like William looked like he walking through the fog over there. Beth, Topaz, she got the nice symmetric background over here. Okay, all right. Who else we got? Sanitha, she is in the orange background over here. Steph is in the kitchen. Anna, she got a nice little subtle light in the background. Okay. We got Gabriel with the mask on. Okay. I don't know who that is. Kim, what she got? She got her hand in front of the camera. I don't know what she got going on. Everybody else, y'all too scared to turn on y'all camera. But anyway.
My bad. I didn't realize because I'm holding it, the iPad. I'm sorry.
I don't know what Lester got going on. He got the hat turned back with the ninja blades on the wall right now. Benson over there in the dark right now. Benson over there quiet in the dark. We got Amanda. She got somebody following her in the background. Oh, she got a little midget in her hand. She got a midget, got the daughter right there. Got the midget and the daughter. Okay. But Wale, I see you with your logo. I don't know what this logo for. You got the shoestring logo. Wale with the shoestring logo. Hey, Wale is AKA the gas station. If you ever want to know something about oil setups, that man is BP. He is BP. He is dubbed BP. So that dude know oil like the back of his hand. So hit Wale up if y'all got questions about oil. I'm putting him on the spot. Huh?
I learned from you, man.
I know, but I'm still putting you on the spot. I like these cylinder stairs William got in the background. I like this staircase, man. I need to get
a pain in the butt at night, though.
I can see myself falling.
Been there, done that too many times.
I can definitely see a whole leg falling in between those stairs, man.
Mm-hmm.
A whole leg. But all right, y'all, I am done. I'm done talking. My mouth dry.
Appreciate you, Corey. Appreciate you, man.
As much as Anita,
yeah, thank you.
Look, as much as Anita be reaching out to me, I would think she would have turned her camera on and say, hey, but she didn't. Be blowing up my DM. asking me questions. And Jeff, I don't see your ugly face, but that's cool. That's
Thank you,
all right.
Corey.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
So,
All right, thanks. Bye.
y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, Corey.
Yep, yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Thank you, Corey.